Wow, thank you and welcome to the Curves of Life. My name is Tabby, the brand, and I wish to take this opportunity to thank you for the great and the tremendous support. Thank you for walking with me. Thank you for supporting the Curves of Life. Thank you for being such a magnificent viewer. And today we are proudly sponsored by Umoja Wendani Housing. This is a leading housing cooperative society in Kenya, and it is good to tell you that Umoja Wendani Housing Cooperative Society Limited was awarded as the best housing cooperative society in Kenya by the president in the year 2019, and they are still the award holder. Good afternoon and thank you. And today in the Curves of Life, I have a guest with me, and without taking much of your time, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mommy. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm well. I bless the Lord.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Kindly look at your camera and say hello to the viewer.
Hello, my viewer. How are you? I'm fine. My name is Pst.Mike Gemstone, and I'm here today with Tabby, the brand, just to share something that you might want to hear. God bless you and welcome.
Well, we are grateful to have you, Pastor Gemstone.
Thank you.
Pastor Mike.
Yes.
And I wish to thank you for taking your time to come with us. And at least tell us 2-3 things about yourself, about your life. And of course, we encourage us all today.
All right.
And without taking a lot of time, sir, I wish us to get to the business of the day.
All right.
Tell us about Pastor Mike in 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you so much, my viewer. May God bless you so much. And Pastor Mike has so many offices, but the biggest ones and the known ones is that I'm a writer, I'm a content creator, I'm a pastor, and I'm a musician. And being that, I think today we are discussing all of them in general, but I think the best of it is about the ministry work of it. So I think that's Pastor Mike Gemstone in a few seconds.
Wow, all in one. That's in a nutshell.
And
I can see you're a gifted man of God.
Yes.
And amongst the few men of God that we have who can multitask. You have said that you're also a content creator.
Yes.
That is awesome. And Pastor Mike, tell us, where did you start the ministry?
I started my ministry back in 2008 after leaving where I was born, and I went to Juja, where I used to live, and that is where I think now I confirmed exactly that I was called. That is when I went to Bible school and came back and now started the full force of the ministry work back in 2009. That is immediately after I left London and came back to Africa. So from that time until this day, I'm still serving God, and that's it.
So basically you started your ministry back in the year 2009.
Yes.
And when we talk about ministry, we know ministry has its ups and downs.
True.
And ministry has also what we call enemies. What has made you serve for a very long time and even up to date you're still standing?
There are 2 things that I'll tell you. One thing you must agree with me that accepting who you are is number 1 to make any brand become true. When I was low in life or when I was high in life, I remembered one thing, that Gemstone is a brand to live.
Okay.
And ministry has one of the best things that you can believe in, that is faith. You must believe in yourself. Before believing in you, you must believe in yourself. Today we have Tabby the brand because you believed in yourself.
Very true.
When I'm so down in life, I have to go back to the belief point of it. When I'm so much okay in life, I must go back again to the believing part of it. So the best part of my life is faith. Faith makes me move. It makes me move my mountains, and that's it.
Did you say that there was a time in your life that you were so low?
Yes.
Would you mind to tell the viewer about that time that you are low, maybe in a nutshell?
The very hardest time of my life is when I lost 2 things. I lost my church and my marriage at the same time.
You lost your church. I'm sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
You lost your church and your marriage
at the same time.
At the same time?
Yes.
Tell us first about your church.
We had a very big ministry around Juja, and by then I was still preaching there. So when hiccups of life came and I was not able to hold myself anymore, I went silent. So when I went silent, the devil was on the other side working on me without me knowing. So the time that I was coming out to explain myself, I had already blown the cover. And during that time, that is when I went through divorce. That was back in 2011. 2011. That is actually, it was year 2011. I lost my marriage, I lost my ministry, I lost my mother, and I lost my grandmother the same year.
The same year?
The same year.
You lost your marriage?
Yes.
You lost your church?
Yes.
You lost your mother?
Yes.
And you lost
my granny?
Your granny?
Yes.
When you speak about loss, different people have got different ways of dealing with loss. And most of the people actually, why they get stuck is because they are unable to deal with the loss. Tell us about Pastor Mike. Where did that leave you? Did it shake you? Was it conspicuous that anyone would tell Pastor Mike has been through a season? Did it break you down to a point that you could not even speak or even minister? Did it, or you just, how did you deal with loss?
Let me tell you something. Loss is not something that people think that he's okay, he'll just, people tell you, we understand your situation. You know what? Man of God, we are with you. But I'm telling you the truth. The depressing part of it, the hitting and the knockout part of it, is that when you're a man of God, everybody was looking up at you. And right now you hit below the belt and you're already down. The first thing that made me feel so low was that because of not talking the right time, everybody saw me as a failure. The people that I thought they would stand with me, they came against me, including my own family. And when everything now went haywire, like it was already in public domain, there was nothing that I was able to control. Nobody understood me. Actually, everybody thought that I was hiding this, and that is why I had left Kenya for a time, which was a lie. Because when I had left, I went to Zimbabwe, went and preached, and then came back. So when I was coming back, the hit knock part of it, I found the people who were planning it had already taken their time, and they knew this was the right time to hit this dude. And I'm telling you something, they had really to hit me direct to my talk, and I had nothing else. Like, they would not miss the target. They knew how to hit me. I want to speak about something called trust. Trust is something that is very general to everybody. But if you do it and give it to the wrong people, putting it the wrong place, you will always be hit the wrong time. Yes.
So in the year 2011,
yes,
you had left Kenya for Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And by the time you came back, it is the time you lost your church.
Yes.
You lost your marriage.
Yes.
Of course, we cannot speak much about death because mom passing away and Shush passing away, that was the plan of God.
Yes.
But now for the marriage and the church, that one, there were people involved.
Yes.
Did you come to know the characters involved, one in breaking your marriage and two in destroying and making you lose the church?
Yes, I did. And actually, the people that I used to talk to and believe in are the one who are planning everything. So I was giving them the plan on how to bring me down.
Oh God.
They were the closest people. I would call them. By then, they were men of God. And when when they were planning all this, they knew that I would not survive. Because like today, I'm coming telling you that, Tabby, you know something? I have this wound. It's already here. I want you to help me on how to nurse it. But when you come, you're coming with salt. You understand? And the time that salt is, salt helps the wound to bring the water out. And then when the plasma comes out, it becomes more worse. It hurts so much. So the people that had involved, actually they were the people who are involved to plan it and bring it down. So the time that I was thinking they would stand with me, everybody left and they were like, we are looking at you, man. We know that he's going to be hit. And I'm telling you, exactly what they planned is what happened. And I would say this today, it's not wrong to trust people, but first of all, ask yourself, whom am I trusting? Because trust brought me down. Trusting the wrong people. Trust is not the wrong thing, but giving it to the wrong people, exactly that is what brought me down. So when I found out that these are the people who did this to me, you know what? I knew I would not survive this. Even when the cases went to they went to court, I had nothing to fight for.
So you were married legally?
Yes, I was. Yes.
So when the case was filed in court, deep down you could feel that you are not making it.
Yes.
Reason being, one, there were money involved.
Yes.
Witnesses.
Yes.
Involvement.
True.
The time factor.
Yes.
As well. And when we talk about loss, in most cases when we feel like the pain that we are going through, we've been subjected to this pain by the people that we know, the people who knew where my bedroom is, the people who knew which button to touch to turn me off. Sometimes we point an accusing finger to them. And at times we feel bitter. We feel a lot of pain. We feel betrayed. Tell me something, Pastor Mike.
Yes.
When this one hit you, and you knew all the characters involved in destroying your marriage and in destroying your church, of course you felt pain.
Yes.
We cannot ignore that.
True.
Did you take a step of revenge or vengeance? Did you feel like, how? I cannot let it pass. You cannot step on me and go with it. Tell me something,
Yes,
Mr.
I did.
Mike.
Yes, I did, my sister. Oh, yes, I
What
did.
did you do?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
The first person that I was angry with was God. So anything that was involving God, I became angry with it. To a point, if you could tell me that you're a pastor, I would make sure that we fought with you.
Fought with the pastor?
Yes, like I would not believe God would allow this to happen to me. You know that time that you're like, I'm hit, yes. But this was done in church. I want you to see that. This was not done just to a commoner in church. This is a man of God. I'm preaching to countries. I'm going to cities and cities, from continent to another. Yet, the same God has really hit on me when it comes to matters of marriage. Really, would you, God, allow me to? Like, I knew, what made me more bitter, I had really started accepting everything by around August of 2011. I had started accepting it's true, they're gone, the church is gone. And the worst mistake was that, and the bitterness that came so much in my life was because I'm the reason why my grandmother passed on. It was so much depressing to her. She would not take it anymore. And she was like, I think this is too much. I think this is too much for my son. You understand that when you raise up a small kid from day 0 all the way to 9, then when that child is on their prime life, they are hit and they are no longer able to rise from wherever they were. It was not an easy thing, Tabby. And my grandmother would hide it so much, but the pressure went so high to a point on my birthday when I thought that everything is okay on that year, and I was like, now we can celebrate my birthday and everything. Trust you me, I didn't know that she had her pressure had really gone high. So when she took a piece of cake, it had sugar. She ate it. I think the pressure plus the diabetes part of it raised and short, and she was gone.
Let me ask you, do you blame yourself for the death of your grandma?
I've always done that. These are the times that I'm healing.
Why do you blame yourself?
I was blaming myself because she had warned me.
Over what?
She had told me that, Gemstone, I think the way this case is taking, I was really defending my friends. Even when I went to court, I would really not come into terms with that. They betrayed me. I was in denial for a very long time. All the way from May up to around October, I was really in denial. I went into depression. I ran away out of home and I went to Ishi at Makongeni. Makongeni is really far away from Thika. I was born in a slum called Kentutu. So you can see this man who just raised, he has good life, he built his house, he has his own vehicle. Then all of a sudden, like, you know, one day I left my home and when I went back, I found police on my door. Not even the clothes. The clothes that were inside, not even the kids that were inside. Nothing was left for me.
Wait.
And that was it.
During this time, had grandma passed?
No. She was seeing everything.
Oh,
she knew every bit of my story. So when all these dramas are happening, this woman,
She's watching.
she's watching. And this is the son that she had really raised with a lot of
Hope.
hope and knowing that she's the one who brought me up. I was her hope. I was the only person who was born again in that house. I was the only person who was the first pastor in the whole family. I was the only person, the first person when it comes to my cousins and the children, to buy a vehicle. I was the first person in our family to leave the country. So she had all the hopes and life
In you.
in me. And all of a sudden I'm hit and I'm down.
And badly, not just hit.
Yes.
You were hit
Everything
badly.
is ripped off. I got nothing remaining in me. That was not easy for that woman. It was not easy.
She succumbed to the pain.
Yes.
She succumbed to the heartache.
Yes.
She succumbed to like watching your son,
Yes.
grandson.
Yes.
And from what you're giving us is that you guys were so close.
Very.
To
My
each
grandmother was
other.
my baby. She was a good girl. Yeah.
She was your baby.
Yes.
You guys were so close.
Very.
Pastor Mike,
Yes.
when you blame yourself for the death of your grandma, we go back there. Why do you think she was warning you?
You know, women see far more than men. My grandmother had no problem with the marriage and everything. But the very first red flag that came was when we had a problem in the house. And now my ex-wife called the brother. The brother came and insulted me. And the pastor in me understood everything and said, it's true, I was the one who was in wrong.
What did she do?
She just called. We had a problem. She went for a party, and when she went for a party, she came very late, and I could smell something else, like alcohol, something, and I was like, no, this is not right. When I told her that I don't think this is okay.
Taking alcohol in a pastor's house,
Yes.
being a pastor's wife,
And mind you, now we pastors most of the times hide a lot of pain.
and she's from a party.
Yes, and mind you, where she came from, they were those kind of people. They could do parties and everything. So when I told her that this is not okay, I was really furious and mad. She came back without the kids, so I was like, she was alone. She was brought by the brother. So when she got, I was like, would you really bring your wife at this hour? Why wouldn't you even let her sleep at home? The brother called the mother.
The in-laws now.
The mother called the auntie. So they came all of them together.
What
They
time?
insulted me.
What
That was
time?
around 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yes, they insulted me properly. Hey, Jesus. Oh, Konoko, the world is finished. Hey, my friend, I was insulted properly.
What did that?
And mind you, this is a pastor, so I was still telling them, why don't you just come down? And
Oh, God.
They were shouting, they were the influence of whatever they had taken. So they were shouting at me.
Oh, let me ask you. You've said that they came with the aunties.
Yes. No, the brother came with the sister. So he's bringing the sister home. So when I got mad, thinking that I'm trying to settle things here, he was calling the mother.
Okay.
The mother found that it was not easy for her to come alone. So the mother now called the auntie. So they came, both of them. This one came
And
from...
you're telling them,
I'm
pastor.
I'm like, this is a house of man of God, Kiturani. Where the curator? You know.
Hey, the neighbors.
Hell was brought next to my door. Then the neighbors that I had were like, hey, what you guys
These are the neighbors. The neighbors that you are hiding from.
Yes.
Finally, they've known that your wife is taking alcohol.
Yes, and one of the drunken
God.
neighbors there, one of the drunken neighbors who was there just said, you know, with my native language, I'm Kikuyu, so he was a very proud man. He said, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So most of the times when I'm away, I think these things happen. It was not the first time for this to happen. So that happened. And when I told my granny that, my grandmother told me that was not okay. You were not wrong. And stop blaming yourself.
Okay.
Okay, I grew up without love. So,
Oh,
yes.
you grew up without love?
Yes, like where love was expected, I did not find it the right time. So the first time in my life when I received pure and good love was only from this girl.
Wait, you grew up without
Love.
love.
Yes.
My name is Tabby K, the brand, and I'm here with Pastor Mike Gemstone. And we'll be coming back to that story where Pastor Mike Gemstone grew up without love, and he has also passed through the curves of life, and that is what we are discussing today. We are taking a short break. Umoja Wendani Housing Cooperative Society Limited are the proud sponsors of this show, and they want to let you know that they have plots in Lukenya, plots in Kajiado, plots in Mananja, and as you can see, they are scrolling down here. Make haste, book yours now. Thank you. We shall be back after a short time with Pastor Mike Gemstone. See you in a short while. Don't touch the dial. Welcome back to the Curves of Life. My name is Tabby K, the brand. And I wish to take this opportunity to thank you for the continued support before we went away. We are still here with Pastor Mike Gemstone. How are you once again?
I'm fine.
Welcome the viewer.
My viewer, welcome back again. I'm still here and the story is still burning, and I'm sure it's going to be late again.
Yes, and before we went away, we were talking about Pastor Mike Gemstone growing without love.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Where I was born in a slum called Kentutu. That is where I was born and raised. And I was raised by my granny. Not because my mother was dead, no. It is because she felt maybe somehow in one way or the other was a mistake or something. So she was like, you know, this kid is not the kind of thing, because I think they had a problem with my father. So by then, I think that was where the whole problem came from, and I was left under the care of my granny. So when I was growing up, you know, my mother was amongst the super iron ladies that I know under the sun. But she never used to like me. Like my mother would look at me like this and I could see bitterness in her eyes. My mother would never even call me by my name. She used to call me Huyu, Oyo. In my native language, Oyo is just this one, you know. So I grew up knowing that. I actually, for your information, keep this in records. I never used to know that my mother was my mother. I knew this on one of the birthdays that we did in the house, and because I
Whose
found
birthday?
my birthday. So my birthday came at the same time there was a get together. So everybody is at home. So on that day, I found everybody calling my grandmother mom. So I followed the trend. Yeah, and I started calling mom, you know, mommy. So one time, no, during this birthday, this was a day that I'll never forget. So everybody's in the house. They have my aunties have come with their husbands. My mother with their children where she got married. There are the children there. Yeah.
Wait, your mother had left you there and she had gone to get married.
My mother got married. I think after she was
to a different hurt. Man who is not your
yes,
daddy.
who is not my biological father, who is my stepfather today, Mr. Samithu. And so that time, when she went and got married, I think she thought that I'm the problem of her life. And I think when she looked at me, she always saw maybe a bad luck or something. So when I was a bad omen in her life, and every time maybe she thought I would bring bad luck.
You brought confusion.
Yes.
You confused her whole life.
Yes. And the reason why I really actually understand my mother. Let me tell you something. There is no way a child will make you lose your school, lose your job, lose your integrity, and lose your love for your parents. You will always look at that child with another eye. And especially if you're not born again, because my mom was not born again by then. Today, people have so many things about God that makes them believe in life. Mom did not believe in that. By then, she was not born again. I told you in my granny's family, I was the first one to get born again. So during this time, mom has left me home. I've grew up with my granny and everything. But now, I used to notice something, because me and my uncle, Joseph, Me and Jasper, we have a difference of, I think, around 8 months or 6. So during this specific day for my birthday, there is a get together at home, and every child of the family is here. Hey, so I was like, when the cake came, I went and said, it's time to cut a cake. So I went, held a knife, and started to cut the cake. So I'm like, kata cake, isiyo ugali. So we're doing this, all this rubbish and everything. We're just laughing. They're washing me with water.
Say rubbish.
Yes. We're doing all this kind of nonsense. You understand the birthday. Now all the cousins, the uncles are here. We are all dancing and doing everything. Now it came a time to cut the cake. So and they were like, Mike, call your mother in. We need to go. So what I did, I turned to my grandmother. Mami, do okay. And now my mother, who is Wamboy, started crying because she was running, and I was like, you know. That did hit my mother. And she was, and I was like, you know, like, you know, Wamboy is a joke. Why do you, like,
so you saw her like your sister, like your cousin?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes. So I went, held my grandmother's hand, and we came here, we cut the cake. But my biological mom, who is Wamboy, started crying. Like she would not even watch me do that. Hey. We did cut the cake. I went, held a piece in my hands. And I told my grandmother that day, Mami, like I would not do this with a fork. I want to give you from my hands. And thank you so much for bringing me up and being the last born of the house. I'm so proud of you. Hey, that made everything went haywire.
But okay, let me ask you something. Yes. Did you know that this is your mother?
No.
Had anyone told you?
No.
Okay, what was written in your birth certificate, in your registration? What is, you are who?
I had 2 names, Mike Gemstone.
What's your surname?
Right now, my surname
Did you have
no.
Then? You've never had a surname?
The first time to have a surname was in 2011. 2010, that is.
What do you mean?
Yes.
So where did you get a surname?
From my father.
Which father?
My stepfather, who is Samithu.
Wait, there's something you're not telling me. So, you knew your Mike Gemstone?
Yes.
Period?
Yes.
Not even Michael?
No.
Mike?
Mike, M-I-K-E.
Mike Gemstone?
Yes.
So, you didn't know about, you don't even have a Kikuyu? Are you a Kikuyu?
Yes, I'm a Kikuyu. I didn't have a Kikuyu. Okay, I agree with those 2 names because when I went to...
Who are you named after?
The father.
Because I understand the Kikuyu way of giving names. They name after the father or the brother or the uncle, but nothing like it. It can't be left hanging. Tell me.
I was born under Catholic Mission Church, which is in Thika, St. Patrick's. And when my mother gave birth to me, she left me in hospital. So I was taken to St. Patrick's Children's Home.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
Okay. Your mother has given birth to you.
Yes.
She has left you in hospital.
Yes.
You were taken to a children's home.
True.
And how did you locate your grandma?
Is
this your grandma?
Yes.
Is this your biological grandma that we are talking to?
I would say yes.
That we are talking about?
I would say yes.
You're not even certain?
I'm sure.
You're sure?
Yes.
So that is your biological grandma?
True.
At what point did you go to live with her? At what age? When
you know, those days, if you'd get pregnant, we would knew very well Tabby K is pregnant. Like the whole village would know. Of course, Naneariko. Yes, everybody knew that. And in my native language or in my native life, the Kikuyu way, during those days, you would not get pregnant and just be like that. Like everybody would know, Tabitha is pregnant and she's not married. Of course. So we know her. And my mother, by then, she was a student at Utali. So when she came back and she's pregnant. Utali College? Yes. She must have been. She was amongst the brightest people that were living those days. So you can see this bright girl who is known, she has come pregnant. And actually when I say that I understand the bitterness of my mom, it's because that woman was a golden woman. Oh God. When she was at high school, she was pregnant by my biological father, who is the father now to myself and my elder sister, Helen.
Oh, you have an elder sister?
Yes, Helen. Helen Minor, today she's known as Helen Minor. She lives in Etel Maravin. So, by then, Mom got pregnant she got pregnant by my father. And during those days, you would get pregnant, be nurtured home, then get back to school. Now, Mom had to repeat one class because she got pregnant. That was in high school. So she went to high school with her baby. My grandmother used to take my sister at the fence. She would breastfeed the child, then my grandmother would go back with the child. So they understood that, you know, this is just common way of raising children, and that was it. Here comes the same man. He has found you in college, pregnant you again, and you go to their family, they reject you. What would you do with the second child? If you were in the eyes of my grandmother, you'd feel hate. Not only that, this second child has cost you your school, your name again. You had been told that, Tabby, I don't want to see you with this man again. He has come again.
And impregnated you.
Hey, my friend.
Second pregnancy.
My uncle was one of the maddest men ever under the sun. He took a sword. My biological father was a soldier.
Oh.
Now I'm trying to imagine these two vichwangumus meeting. You pregnated my sister. Kitu gani unaniambia? So when this cause of alarm came, my grandmother made a declaration. We will never do a bride negotiation with this family in my life.
So she declared.
Yes. And mind you, the girl is pregnant for 6 months.
Oh God.
Put yourself in that girl's shoes.
And of course, having been impregnated the first pregnancy, the second one.
And the family is saying very well, we raised your first daughter. Your family is rejecting my own daughter now with the second child. We don't know you people. And actually, when they are doing all this, the pregnant woman is in the midst.
Oh God. No, she can hear everything.
That woman was heartbroken. My mother was an iron woman. Wherever she is, God deserves to give her life.
God.
That woman did not abort me. She gave birth to me. She did not leave me, not only leave me, she made sure that I was born in the hospital and left me in good hands of nurses. So she knew that I would not be killed.
Wow.
That was a golden moment. That was a golden moment. I used to feel that thing as bitterness, and I used to feel as if she did not love me. But I think there is nobody has ever loved me like my mother.
So today you understand better.
100%.
Today you feel the love of a mother.
She
You feel
never
the
killed me.
desperate decision that she made, because she must have made that decision out of desperation.
True.
She didn't know what else to do. And she didn't want to seem a girl. The only thing that she didn't do is to breastfeed you.
True.
And she knew there's an alternative. Because abortion has no alternative.
Yes.
But breastfeeding
Has
has
an
an alternative. Kudos.
Imagine
Gemstone,
she gave me birth in a hospital. Level 5 to speak of.
Wow.
Under the care of nurses.
And
She knew in one way or the other this child would be adopted by someone. If necessarily not the government, not the government institution. Number 2, why would she give birth next to a children's home?
Wow, wow.
This was a woman who did not want to kill. She was bitter with life, she was bitter with the man, but not bitter with the child.
Wow.
But when I grew up, now maybe anytime she would see me, she would see the bitterness of life, and I think that is where everything started starting up again.
Yeah.
I've been very angry with my mother all through when I grew up. But one day, one of the fine days I sat down and I was like, this girl was a super girl.
Wow.
Why would she leave me under the care of nurses? She knew that these people would not kill the child.
She knew they would midwife, they would take care of the child.
Yes.
And eventually the child will reach his
And mind you, why didn't she take me, maybe give birth to me and take me to the family at the door? Why? She knew maybe I would not be taken care of welfare. So that is why today we are speaking of the curves of life. Because this was a good curve, but in a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? She had all the options. She would have killed me
Oh, yeah, of
or
course.
sold me maybe, but she did not do anything wrong to me. She just left the baby there and went back to school. Why? God take care of this from here.
Let me ask you something. Oh, it is a little bit sad.
It's okay. It's well.
Let me ask you something, Pastor Gemstone. Now, how did you come to reunite with your grandma? How did they locate you in a children's home? What is this miracle that happened where?
Back to a story that I told you. When you get pregnant in a village, you're known. So, when there were due dates, the nurses that were here, remember I was brought up and raised in Thika. My mom was born and raised in Thika. So we are known. So when she gave birth and left the baby, one of the nurses said, hello, Mama Amboy, you know something? She went home. Your daughter gave birth to a child. And right now, the child, this is the native language she said. Mwarego ni anasiarire. Na mwanare ule, dare kwa muthufari. Ekwa mufea.
Mudhufari is
municipal. Ekwa mufea.
Mufea is
a Catholic church. It's in a Catholic mission. The child is under the care of Catholic mission. Right? Now, this was a battle between a Catholic church and my grandmother. You must prove this is your child. Okay. The mother of the baby is not ready to cooperate.
Oh my.
So, Father Gemstone said, no way. You are
Father who?
Father Gemstone. The one that I was named after. Okay, when they found it was a boy.
Curves of life.
Yes.
So you are named after Father.
Yeah, Father Finian Gemstone Rely.
A Catholic priest.
Yes. Father Finian Gemstone Rely. That was his name. The owner of the children's home that I was taken to.
So you are named after him.
Yes.
The only title that you had was Mike.
Yes.
So
actually, he gave me the name Michael. He said that he's a battler. This is a man has battled with life, and he has been brought to earth. So he just named me Michael.
So you were taken to the hospital,
yes,
to the mission, to the Catholic mission,
home care.
Home care.
Yes.
Nameless.
When I was I was given a tag. You know when a child is born, is given a tag.
A tag with the cages.
Yes, and everything.
Yes. So when you went there, because you didn't have a name, they had to give you a name.
They said that between the hospital and the children's home, the tag got lost.
Oh God.
The tag
you didn't have anything?
I didn't have anything. Because
for
actually,
identification.
Actually, the papers that I had for the children's home and the ones that I had for the school were not rhyming. They had a difference. So what the father did, because he had an interest with life, he said that he had to feel everything himself. Most of the whites from America, they don't have the name Michael, they have Mike. So he named me Mike Gemstone, like I was under his care. If anything was to be answered, he said, I will answer, but I believe this is a good child. And that was it. So when the tag got lost and already the baby is in their hands, there was no way they was to take me back to hospital. So what they did, by then Catholic was the one that had the best nurses.
Oh yeah.
They were the ones that had the best teachers. They were the ones that had the best mission. Even today, Catholic institutions are the strongest.
Very true. Kudos.
So that is what they did. And I believe all the Catholic mission hospitals and schools and everything, kudos and may God bless you. You have a life.
So to all the Catholic priests.
Yes.
To all the Catholic all foundations
of Catholic, yes,
by the Catholic Church. Congratulations.
Yes.
It is because of you that we have this life. Going forward, you've been given a name by the father, by the Catholic priest. And here comes your grandma coming here to claim that he knows the baby and he wants the baby under her care. I know it was not easy. At what point was she given?
You know, they told my grandmother one thing, you're from a slum. So you raising this child with good standards, especially at this tender age, it's not easy. So we will allow you to be seeing the child, but we will not allow you to take the child.
So she was given access and not custody.
Yes.
She could only come to see the baby. Hey,
Yes.
hi, are you good? Oh.
Yes.
Then she goes.
Yes.
But not to have the baby by herself.
No.
Reason being the conditions under which she was staying were not favorable for any life
True.
to grow.
True.
So sad. So at what age were you taken away now? Was she given custody?
No, there is always cards in life when it comes to matters of money. So people started bringing corruption inside the mission something. And now for the Fenian had to end the whole thing. So this man had a godly heart. He gave my grandmother an option. Allow me to go with Gemstone, or you assure me that you'll bring him up in a good way. My grandmother said, he's the only hope I have. I've lost the daughter in bitterness. I don't want to lose the child. And he promised the father, over my dead body, that this boy will ever suffer. She was given every letter needed. And it is said very well, and my grandmother used to say that very well. Father, like the priest had to take me with his own hands and give me to my grandmother, not via the office, himself with his own hands. And that was how now I went back to my grandmother's life and everything.
And maybe we can say it is through those hands that held you that today you are a minister.
Definitely.
He must have whispered some words to your ears.
Yes.
He must have spoken words of life to this man.
True.
He must have declared something about your future.
Definitely.
He must have said, let this child not be seen anywhere littering, but always be seen in your house. Pastor Gemstone, now you've been given to the custody of your grandma, and she has taken good care of you. And you said you have never experienced love, because this grandma love, you know, grandmas. So at times she could scold you, but in love. But during that time, when we look at it, we say, sure, she's doing this because I'm not his son, you know. He's doing this because my uncles are scrambling. Because you've told me that you and your uncle, your age is not so
the same, yeah.
Exactly. So, nile tu.
It's a kawaida thing.
Yes. So you can feel rejected. Did that seed grow in you? Do you at some point feel, oh, I'm a reject. I need to run away from home, because we hear of cases where these children, after they come from the children's home and they're handed over to the family, they go there and they start suffering internal stigma. Ila self stigma, ila niwe unajiambia vitu. And then at some point they just depart from home, and they feel this love that they are getting here is not sufficient. Some of them, remember, they come and they find that their parents passed on a long time ago. So when they come here, they feel, I'm not fitting here. Everybody knows what I went through. Everybody knows that I was acquired from somewhere. Tell me, did you find yourself in that situation?
Yes, I did. You know, when I was taken from a children's home now back to the slum, this is a different kind of life for me. And when I went home, now everybody looked at me like a bad omen.
Okay.
Mind you, this was not part of their family. And my grandmother never said that she knew where I was. So when my grandmother came with a boy home, the whole story of her life changed. The children left.
Was she married?
No.
She was a single lady?
Yes.
She was a single mother?
Yes.
So when she came with a boy home, did she explain to them where she had gotten the boy from?
I think she
did. She explain whose baby it was? I
think she did, and that is where I think the other family members got bitterness from. And they were like, the mother is married. Why should we help you with this boy? Yet the mother, mind you, my mother was working with Kenya Cereal Board, Nakuru.
KCB?
Yes.
K
Yes, it's called KCB. Yes, Kenya Cereal Board Nakuru. Yes. My mother was working very well. So actually, I believe the whole rift from my mother, my grandmother, the family started with me. So they were like, so all through you knew that this child existed. How sure are you this is the child? And you understand those forces. So everybody withdrew. So we started struggling with my grandmother.
So they withdrew the help that they were giving to your grandma. They withdrew the support.
Actually, they came after a very long time. I remember there's a time we lived with me, my grandmother, and my uncle for a very long time without seeing anybody home.
How was the relationship between you and your uncle?
We were good. I grew up knowing that he's my brother. I'm not. This was the funny part of it. No one in that family ever told me anything concerning my background. Until one time, I think I was at home, and children in slums have a way of finding a coin here and there.
Oh yeah.
So it was on a weekend, and I left home. The common way, I took a roller. That is what we call mofara. I took a roller, and I was like, yes. Took my. So there is a guy who used to come with vehicles. We used to wash the vehicles, and you're given 10 shillings Kenya money. So one time I took his crowbar. And
crowbar is what?
The crowbar is tarimbo. And a crowbar and a scrubber for the vehicles and something. So when I was taking that thing, that dude nikamwambia, I told him, my brother so and so, you know, this is mine. Hisi yako mimi na osha hii gari na hii. He tried to slap me, and I told him, dare you. My uncle is known. He's one of the roughest guys in Thika. So he's known. Like, okay, you know, he's a kimoda. And in our family is known. Like my grandmother's sons, both of them, they are known in Thika. They are one of the finest men. So when I told him that, he told me that you're you know, like, look at this small dog. You're a product of rape. And I was like, what? What did he just call me? He called me a product of rape. And he took away that kigunia, and he went and washed the vehicles and everything. So I went and told my uncle. I didn't know the meaning of the word rape by then. So I went and told uncle.
Now he used Kikuyu.
Yes. You know,
okay.
You know, that was one of the bitter. When I went and told my uncle did not tell me the meaning. What he did, he took a panga and a rungu.
And went and
like, let's go and find that man. You know, when he went there, he hit him on the ground. He stepped on his head. But even when this man was on the ground, he still said,
oh.
And I was like, why is this man so strong with these words?
How old were you by then?
I think I was around 7
years?
7 to 10.
Oh,
in between 7 and to 10 up. And I was like, why is this man so strongly believing and saying these words even when he's on the ground? My uncle really beaten up that man badly. To a point I think he was not even able to rise by his own. He was lifted by other guys. And those words were engraved in my heart. And that is how now I came to know the story that I'm telling you today of how I was born and raised. Because somebody had to explain to me this. Now at a very, I think I was by the age of teenage or something. The age of teenage or something, yeah. And that was it. So that is how I came to know how I was born and everything. And actually I love that story because today it's the scars that makes me to be the way I am today.
Wow.
I'm a flowered man.
Wow. Pastor Gemstone, you've grown up now. You've reached the age of getting married. Did you go to school?
Yes.
Did you school?
Yes. I went to St. David, Thika Town. Then I went to Gatoma in a primary school. That is where I did my class 8. Then I repeated again, went to Shags. And I repeated again at Gatigati Primary School. Then from there, secondary was almost another history of my life. But God still did it for me after 2 years I still went to secondary school. That was after 2 years I went to secondary school. I actually, after doing my class 8, I stayed out for 2 years outside. Then I went to high school, which is Chania Boys. Then after I did that, I had to leave school by the third form, which is form 3. And I started hustling because my grandmother was not able to raise money for my school fees by then.
You want to tell me that English that I'm hearing is of a form 3 dropout?
Yes. But now from there, God gave me other sharpenings in life, which I am today.
Did you say you are an author?
Yes.
You know, miracles happen. You know, Pst.Mike, from where we are, if somebody came to you and told you, I'm a form 3 dropout, you start looking at them with a perspective of, this one cannot even make a constructive sentence. But again, having come from Chania Boys High School, that English is expected. Number 2, you are from ghetto, so you should be street smart.
Yes, I'm a streetwise boy.
Yes. So you've been refined
properly.
Vizuri, yeah?
By both the world and God.
Okay.
I'm totally shaped and online.
Yeah. So that is where that good and smooth English
is coming from.
It's coming from. Now, Pst.Mike, that one I had to take the viewer back because Pst.Mike Gemstone said he never experienced love in his growing up, and now I know you well and you fully understand why he had to say that he did not experience love from birth.
True.
And going forward, you have married this girl and things have failed to work. A case has been filed in court.
And I lost it.
And you lost it?
Yes.
And she was given the letter, the divorce letter.
True.
And you as well, you signed it.
Yes.
Did you ever come to marry again, to get married again?
Yes. After 2012, the saga was the whole divorce was done in 2012 August. Then you see now that's a whole year. All the way from the first day that I was given a letter in court, and she won everything. They had good money. So these people.
Did you have children? Sorry.
Yes.
Were there children involved?
Yeah, there was a kid involved, and most of the times when that story is mentioned, the only thing that was beating me was the child, because they had to use the child to hit me. Because when I was told that the child is not mine, that was when I was like,
the child was not yours?
And not only that, a man presented himself in the court and said that this is my biological son.
Did you do a DNA?
Not really.
So the child was not, or you were just told?
When I was told that, and they came with papers, and that man was, I don't think I had strength. Now, during the time of divorce, I had no strength left.
You had
so it's like I had to surrender everything. Like my heart was gone, everything was ripped off from me, and I was like, whatever you want to have, you guys just have it. Like I'm tired.
You have lost the church, you have lost the marriage, and now they have come saying, oh, the son is not even yours. What are you fighting for?
Yes. When I was born allergic to alcohol. That is inborn. So, people who are allergic to alcohol, most of them, they are known and they have issues with maybe low sperm count or something. So, this person used this thing to hit me. Have you ever confirmed he's your son because you're saying he's your son? Oh. Do you really know those are very dangerous words?
Very, very.
So
more so being told to a man.
Yes.
That has, mind you, how old was the baby by then?
I think by then my son was around 1 year or something. 1 year, because my son was born in 2011. So that was it. So it was around 1 year and some few months. Yeah.
Now, the son, you've been told the baby is not yours, you've lost the case, you've given up on everything because you don't even have energy to fight. So where have you picked your pieces and you have stopped being angry at God? Because you told me you had to quit everything.
Yes.
During this time that you have quit, were you finding yourself yearning for God?
True.
You were.
I'm a product of grace. So what do you expect? Actually, that was the most hurting thing in my life. Because God was still calling me every time. And that was where
still beckon you.
yes.
Come.
Signal me, son, come back. And I was like, man, you're telling me to come back, yet you had swindled me everything. I was just speaking like Jeremiah. You lied to me, God. You lied to me. You're saying that you knew me since I was born, before even I was formed in my mother's womb. Yet I'm passing through this. Are you really God? Do you really exist? You know, those questions are there. Let's not lie. Let me tell you something. There are 3 people in the Bible who once almost gave up during the time of victory.
Oh, yeah.
The first person is Elijah. Elijah had killed 400 fake Baal prophets like
Very
yesterday.
true.
Today, a woman has sent a message, not even the woman who came. Jezebel sent a message from his messenger and told Elijah that tomorrow, a day like this, I'll kill you. Then Elijah is running away. So my question is, where did Elijah get this fear from? It is because, like yesterday, he had fought and he was tired. So when fear is instilled in him, he had no strength left. So that is why he was running. The second person is Samson. Samson fought with a jawbone after fighting all through.
Oh, yeah.
He felt tired. He was swankless. He was feeling that he's wrecked. He's down. What he did, he threw away the jawbone and he
When he
fell
was
on.
almost.
Instead of holding the jawbone and calling for water, he threw away the jawbone and he fell on the ground. And the Bible says, and he groaned from his heart, oh Father, I will die of thirst. A whole man who has killed men and piled them is dying of
He
thirst.
threw away the jawbone.
When you throw away the jawbone before the victory is declared, you're dead.
Oh, God. Now, let me ask you.
Yes.
Now that you've God is calling you,
Yes.
please come back. You're still my son.
Yes.
I still care. I'm the one who got you from
True.
wherever. I've been working with you. Even when you are going through all this, I knew. At what point did you feel like, I need to go back to God?
That was back in 2014, 2013. 2012, the whole of 2012 was very bitter. The whole
Before
of 2019, that
when you
was
were
very
this bitter, what evil things were you doing?
I would hurt anybody.
Hurt?
Like, I would, especially, let me tell you something. This is what I used to do. You're a girl from church. And I would wait. Actually would not sleep with you, but I would wait for you to fall in love with me properly. Then I would tell you, you know what? Go tell God that I've hurt you intentionally.
How many did you hurt?
I don't know, but I did.
No, they are watching.
I know. And I said sorry to
Apologize.
almost, like everybody that I saw. Actually, that is the first thing that I took in my life. And people thought that I'm a madman.
Really?
I used to go, I would call you Tabby and tell you, Tabby, I knew I did hurt you and I'm really sorry. I was passing through this. This is what I had gone through. I would not tell anybody that I had gone through divorce, but I had decided. Any girl from church, I'll never believe them.
So you had so many?
Yes. The only thing that
you were promising them marriage and then?
No, I was very
What
sharp.
were you promising
I would
them?
not promise marriage. but
What
I would
were
promise-
what were you doing to them to make them fall in love?
I was just showing interest.
Aish?
Mind you, I was a man of God by then, so I knew
God.
exactly where to pin. That was it.
And they're looking at the tall, dark and handsome. And
Don't you? This was one of the most hilarious part of my life. But I want to speak about it. Go to the
they are looking at the tall, dark and handsome and they're saying, oh, this one is a potential. But little did they know,
This man was a heartbroken man.
Mark Gemstone was up to hurting them. And not hurting them, but hurting them badly.
Yes.
Pst.Mike, did you have that thing of telling you, was your conscience talking to you at night?
Not really. It was dead.
Dead?
Dead in this manner. I knew that God had really heartbroken me.
Okay.
So I was heartbreaking God. I was not heartbreaking the girls. You understand when a girl is a worshipper and you go there and you show interest and she's like, Like I would go to church intentionally to hurt Tabby.
Guy. Back to the sender.
Yeah, but my thing, like I would, and I was very sharp. I would not tell you that I want to marry, but I would tell him that you're good looking, you're beautiful, and if time allows, some things would be that. Yeah, I would tell you the sweet nothings, and you would listen to me carefully. Yeah,
God.
And that was it. But that's a bygone now.
Pst.Mike,
It's a bygone now.
you had so many women.
Yes, I did.
In church?
Yes.
And you didn't have an intention to marry them?
No.
There is none of these girls who would sweep you, who would sweep you like off your feet.
There was one.
And you're like, oh God, even if God I'm angry with you, this one I'm not letting her go. I'm not hurting her. Yani hakuna huyu mzuri tu ila uzuri yake igekukatch.
There was one. She was too prayerful. And I would say by then she was messing me because she would call me and she would pray for me. She would just hold me like this and pray with me.
No.
And one time I told her, I don't want to hurt you. I told her that I've really done a lot of mess and I don't want to hurt you. And she told me, Gemstone, you're not hurting me. Even though she was hurt later. But I had warned her. By me. You see, this time I'm telling her the truth. This was the last thing that I was doing.
No.
Yes.
Pst.Mike, what are you saying?
Yes, this is what
you used to tell her.
Like I used to tell, she would not believe me. You see, they're saying this man. Everybody knew me.
Okay, fine. Let me ask you. During this time, you've come, you've approached me, Tabby. I want to have a thing with you. I want to marry you. I want to walk a journey with you. And during this time, behind your back, you're not going anywhere with me.
Actually, I knew that I would hurt God and I would remove this from church. I knew that she would go down.
Let me ask you a stupid question.
Yes.
Pst.Mike, were you sleeping with him?
No. I would never do such a thing.
You were not sleeping with them?
No.
So you are keeping it holy?
You know what?
By hurting them. You are not making covenants with them?
I would never do that. I'm not that stupid because I knew that covenant would cost me after.
So there were no covenants?
No.
You are just dry? You just,
that was it. Like, let me tell you something. When it comes to love matters and everything, there is something that I knew about God. If you lay in covenant, it doesn't matter whether you're born again or not, that covenant will catch up with you.
It's a war.
So the only thing that I would not do, I knew God was dangerous, and I would not even sleep with him. But the only thing, you would see this guy who is not interested in sex, but is good with you.
He's a gentleman.
He's a real man. A man who is not interested in sleeping with you. He's a real man.
He's a good man.
This is a real deal.
Tall, dark and handsome, but he doesn't want bed issues.
Yes.
He wants to wait until
the exact time.
Were you promising them marriage?
I would tell you that
those sweet nothings.
Future, yes.
What was the content of those sweet nothings?
If today I tell you that let's see what this will take us, but I believe both of us are believers, and I know that
God.
That girl will have faith.
I don't want to ever hear that.
You should believe them. They're real. It's not the wrong way.
Now, so you come and tell me, let us see where this will take us. I won't promise you much,
but let's see what future will hold.
Oh God, for us. And how dare is this woman believe?
You know something?
They love.
All these people knew me when I was preaching. People knew me. Okay, by then people knew that I was divorced.
Okay.
And they knew me from church.
So these are potential.
These are man.
Band.
Mind you, my vocals are very natural.
I know.
I used to write arts and everything. This guy is from outside and inside country. This guy all of a sudden from nowhere is coming to church, but he's not preaching. Do you understand?
From
so
outside
it was
the
very
country?
Easy. Yes, he's back.
From diaspora.
Hey.
And he has come. Hey, he has much money. Yes.
And mind you, I had got a job with a friend of mine. So I had rented, now this is around 2013, I had already started now working and everything. And by then, there's a club that I used to do, that I used to do auditing for them. So my auntie's club. So I used to get money.
Auditing?
Yes.
A Form 3 dropouts?
Yes. I was like,
auditing like Hesabu?
And even today.
What were you auditing?
Matrix, wherever you are, tell these people the truth. Show them what I used to do. Show them what I used to do. I've been working until today. Matrix auditing company. I've always been fair, even these days. Pastor Sanja, come here. Tell them the truth. Show them our pictures. They will see.
From 3 dropouts?
Yes.
Doing auditing?
Yes.
What were you auditing?
Every
Was
time.
the companies making losses?
No, no. Martin was my friend since high school times, and we were in math
You
club.
must have been smart, man.
Yes, I was.
Oh God.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Huh?
I think.
A mom was coming against all the years that I wasted in school.
Oh no! No! Don't say that. Don't say that. No.
From 3 dropout.
Yes.
Doing auditing.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies were not making losses.
No.
And the KRA guys were not coming.
No.
And people could believe.
Pastor Kashanja, revival. Come on, come and tell these people they took. I used to do that. And mind you, we were best of friends. So every time that we could, I used to love IT. So I think through the interest of that.
So you are auditing. By the way, it's good to tell you, my viewer, that the guy who is standing before your screen and before your camera is an editor as well.
Yes.
He's a cameraman. He's a director. He's a vocalist.
Yes.
He's the man of God.
Yeah.
He's an auditor.
Yes, I'm an auditor.
That one has swept off me off my feet.
Yes. So
now,
that was it.
I am even confused of what to call you. This entire thing. Now, editor, auditor. So that time that you are doing auditing, you were having good money, you fine. Were you taking them to your house?
Not really.
So ilikuwa tu inaishi hapa tu kwa chai?
No, I would invite you in my house. I had no problem. But when I'm not showing interest of sleeping with you and everything, you will believe in this man.
Were they coming to the house?
Yes.
Then do what?
You see, like today, you would believe me. If today I've not slept with you, Tabby.
I will. Of course, I will see future.
Yes.
I pray that men of your type will never come.
They will never come.
My way.
Actually, that man is dead. He's dead and gone. Today we're here. We have a life. You know, repentance is the best thing ever. Yes.
You've gotten married, you've divorced.
Yes.
Now you've started hurting women of God to hurt God.
Yes.
You started hurting the women of God to cry to God.
Yes.
To make God hurt.
Yes.
That's ironical. Now.
Oh God.
Now, at what point did you feel like God is beckoning you? Come. You know what? I was telling somebody, even before you answer me, I was telling some people, don't ever think that God is too blind to get you. Mkono wa Mungu ni mkuu.
He's as sharp as 10
10
times of your brains. He knows where to hit. So,
God says, you finish up with this, then you come to me.
And he's very calm.
At what time did you do your last shot?
Now, there's this girl that I'm telling you, she used to hold me and pray.
Oh, God.
So, one time, this serial heartbreaker has found another serial iron lady in God. Tabitha comes, she holds me and she's like, Gemstone, I sense bitterness in you. I didn't want her to tell me that. I wanted her to be heartbroken. She's not getting heartbroken. What she did, she told me, I know, you're leaving me, Gemstone. Yes. But I want to tell you something. I don't want you to hurt anymore. And actually, I understand you. If there's a woman who understands you, let me just use you. It's me, Tabitha. I understand you. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to repent on my behalf for hurting me.
So what did you do? Hey, that's a good one. Hey, kudos to this woman.
And I was like, and she started reminding me of the times I used to preach in their church. You know, she came that night. She told me, you want to sleep with me, do it.
At night?
You want to hurt me. She came and it was an unexpected visit. She comes, she was a nurse.
Oh, okay.
So she left Magathi and came. Kumbe, she was on fasting the whole week. Hey,
a nurse in Magathi. They are watching.
You're not there anymore, so I know you won't predict you.
They're watching.
Hey.